Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Nice card at Woodbine on Saturday. Let's take a look at race number 5. It's the grade 3 Jacques Cartier going 6 furlongs on the Tapeta surface. We've got a field of 7 in here. War Bomber is also cross-entered earlier on the card. The 3 Candy Overload, the 4 Flag of Honor. They threw it down last time out with Candy Overload eking out the win.
Yeah, it was close at the wire. I didn't think it was necessarily as close, Dan. Maybe you disagree, as the final margin suggests it was. I thought Candy Overload was just much the best in that race. We'll see if he can repeat that effort. This race, here's my question for you. Who makes the lead in here?
That's a very, very good question. I'm not so sure. I'm sure Timeform US has the answer. We throw up our Timeform US pace projector. They believe Flag of Honor, the 4, is going to go to the lead. And this horse showed a little bit of speed 2 starts back in the Kennedy Road, his final start last year. But it's not like this horse is any kind of a blazer, which means this sort of turns into a jockey's race. I think the 7-step forward is going to be aggressive as he was last time out. To me, Mike, I think the key to the pace in a way, I'm not saying he's going to outright make the lead, but I know the 2 Ironstone can be closer if necessary.
I kind of looked at it that way too. We'll see. Ironstone, he's so bad from the gate. That's the only thing that's holding me back with thinking this horse could be forward in here. But if he gets out of the gate, well, I'm kind of with you. I felt like there was a chance. Well, certainly I didn't think he would be last, but it all depends on the break. I agree with you. I think the 7 makes the lead in this race.
Old Chestnut, the number 1, finished 3rd in this race last year. He's the kind of gelding, though, that might need a little bit of pace up front to set him up. And last time out, that wasn't the case when he got beaten by Step Forward. But it was a useful start to his campaign, and I could see him taking a step forward at a solid price.
Me too. Trip is very important to this horse. We'll see if he gets the right one in here. I will say that the first 2 starts this year, both at 5, 5.5. I don't think that's a great distance for this horse, and I actually feel like he ran really well in both of those races. We'll see how this race sets up for him, Dan, and where he can get himself positioned early. I think he can win here, and he's a really good price on the morning line.
I know that Ironstone's biggest accomplishments came going long, or winning the Ontario Derby, 2nd in the Prince of Wales, 4th in the 2022 Queen's Plate. I always thought he was a sprinter. He was an early 2-year-old. They've concentrated sprinting on him, but Mikey made a very good point. He's not good out of the gate, and if he breaks slowly in here, he could be behind the 8 ball in a bunched-up field with a slow pace up front.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty badly compromised in that most recent start there off a little bit of a layup. He just got out of the gate last. He raided at the back of that pack, and they weren't going that fast on the lead in that race, Dan. I still thought he actually ran pretty well. He finished behind a couple of these horses, but I thought he ran very well in there just to get 3rd. When you go back to that December race, I know it was a drop in class, but he kept himself within range there. He was so much better than those horses and won that race easily. Even the Kennedy Road last year, Dan, Flag of Honor beat him. This horse had a terrible trip in that race and actually ran really well.
Candy Overload was 4th in this race last year. He had to come the long way around. He's in very good form right now, winning 2 stakes races in a row over the synthetic. And here's his most recent performance. And the horse on the outside is Flag of Honor. He had to carry a little bit more ground. You're going to see Ironstone rallying up the rail. Although Candy Overload did get a good trip, splitting horses, and didn't have to go as wide, he just looked better than the horse on the outside, Flag of Honor.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I feel like, you can quibble about the trips if you want to. I feel like they both had a real shot at this thing at the 8th pole. They were lined up together racing, and to me, Candy Overload was just the best horse in there, and Flag of Honor was never getting by him, in my opinion. This horse ran really well in there. It was 5.5. This is 6. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. In some ways, Candy Overload is the horse to beat. I don't know how short I would go on him as far as price goes.
The Flag of Honor, the 4, did win at 6 in the Kennedy Road, his final start last year, and this was his first start of 2024. And all in all, it was a good performance, something that he could build on. He's relatively lightly raced, and he does have enough tactical speed where if there's not a lot of pace, he can be right there when they turn for home.
Yeah, he is handy enough, I think, to get the right trip in this race. And as the pace projector suggests, I mean, I guess if they're just thinking we can make the lead in here and they want it, I guess they could get it, Dan. I don't know. I could go either way on this horse, and since I see him at such a short price on the morning line, I kind of don't want to take him in here. Listen, I wasn't blown away by his Kennedy Road win 2 starts back, but the figure makes him competitive. The trip that he pulled in there could really work in a race like this, and I do think he beat a good field that day.
Mason's Gamble's going to have to deal with a 5.5-month layoff, and this Ontario bred's going to be taking on some open company. He faced some solid horses last time out. His final start of 2023, going 2 turns. The 3rd place horse then came back, placed in a third other than allowance with an 86 buyer, but he's going to have to do a lot better shortening up off the bench.
Yeah, I just don't really see it with this horse. You know, his overall form is fine. It feels like a race like this just might be a little bit too tough for him. He's supposed to be a really good price, though, for a really good trainer.
Well, I think Ironstone is good at these shorter distances. War Bomber, to me, has the feel of sort of a two-turn horse. He's cross-entered in a two-turn race. Also on the Saturday card, wherever he runs, he's going to be doing it off about a 6.5-month layoff. He is rock solid. I just think this distance might be a little sharp for him.
Yeah, I look at it that way too. I'm just, concerned that every time they bring this horse back off of a layoff, and this year they're doing it a little bit different. They're going to bring him back sprinting, but every time they bring him back off of a layoff, he shows a little speed, he gets tired. He shows a little speed, he gets tired, and then he gets better, and it starts after that. I feel like they always give him a race off the bench, and I feel like sprinting in this spot, if they run here, that's probably what they're doing.
Maybe Step Forward is just going to be aggressively ridden from the gate and try to take this field gate to wire. After all, he is stretching out off a 5/8 race where he showed speed. The pace wasn't very fast in this race, but he was able to get out of the gate and make the front. And once he did, it was good night, Irene. It was his first start since the summer. He's a lightly raced 5-year-old. Maybe this guy's just coming into his own at the right time. I expect him to be forward.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like he can make the lead in here. I don't really want to bet him off of this performance because he just had all the best of it. He's loose on the lead. He never gets challenged. You can see how much horse he had left in the stretch there. I feel like he did take advantage there, but he also ran well and got a competitive figure. And he's just so lightly raced. You could sort of see him getting better last year. He's off the layoff there and he takes another step forward. Why can't he improve again?
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Jacques Cartier. Mike, you're going with Ironstone. Good performance off the layoff. If he gets out of the gate, I can see him sitting up close in the pocket. Maybe he can get out with a clear run and run these down. He certainly has the class for it.
I'm hoping he gets the right trip in this race, then he is going to be a fair price. And I don't think he's overmatched by these horses anyway. I was torn between the 1 and the 2 in here. They're both going to need the right trip in this race, Dan. I'll wait and see which one's the better price.
I like the 4 and the 7 simply because they're lightly raced. We haven't seen their best yet. Flag of Honor might have needed that most recent start, and I think getting back out to 6 is going to help him. 2-1-3-7 for Mike, 4-7-3-2 for me. It's the Jacques Cartier, a grade 3 at Woodbine on Saturday, race number 5.